This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everyone. I love what she does, how she blends life coaching with astrology. Life coaches are fantastic, but when you pair astrology and you have deep knowledge of it, it is now you already have GPS of where to go, and then the coaching part just kind of engulfs that and gives you that direction. Going to dig in today with a lot. We're gonna look at a chart and understand this a little bit more. Our professional of the year, Nancy Volante, is back with us. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Steve. It's always good to be back.
You too. Yeah, I learned so much. Share with others. We left off last time we got together talking about the fourth house, and you had done a chart on me, astrological transit, a while back, and then we were
Mhm.
talking about, well, let's bring it out as an example just to show how this all works. And if I remember correctly, we ended with the fourth house. Side note, I don't even know what these houses are. Please explain when we get to that.
Yeah.
Um, but I was reading like just those, like I have an app, astrology app or whatever, and it was talking about focusing more on your health in the fourth house or in this last quarter of the year, which I started making appointments and checking up on things. And I'm thinking that that's revealed in the fourth house.
Well, well, first of all, I want to say I love the GPS because that's kind of what it is. And, the way astrology wellness coaching is evolving in my perspective and in my business is that I don't do the whole chart for people. I really do pick a point that we can GPS and follow. It's like a short journey because doing the whole chart is overwhelming. So I just wanted to put that in there because that GPS really resonated with me.
Hmm.
Now, as far as the fourth house, Steve, is traditionally and is about your roots. It's about your lineage. It's about family. It's about how you feel safe within yourself, or not safe, the security that you feel within yourself. So it's a very intuitive house.
Hmm.
It's ruled by Cancer and the moon all the time. That doesn't change. So
Is that just my astrological sign, or that's general? Fourth house is ruled by.
that's general. That happens with everybody. That's
Oh,
within the structure of the blueprint of the wheel, the zodiac wheel.
thank you for sharing
So,
that, because now for me, this is coming a little bit clearer when you talk about when people say, you know, that these houses are ruled by certain signs. I never
yeah,
knew whether it was subjective, but that's universal. Okay.
yeah, and it's a great question. And depending on, well, no, I think it's pretty universal because there's many different styles, but we won't even get into that. But what is pertinent here is what you have in the fourth house. If you have planets there, and for you, Steve, you have quite a few. You have your sun, which is in Mercury. I mean, excuse me, your sun, which is in Virgo, Pluto, which is in Virgo, and they are conjunct. They're both at 9 degrees, so they are blending in with one another. They're very blended. I want to just stop. I want to just tell you a little bit about that because I think it's really empowering and powerful in the sense of Pluto is about transformation, death and rebirth symbolically. And it's about, how do we grow? The old analogy of we have to compost our garden in order to grow. And I say that to you because they're both in Virgo. And I know that when we've talked in our other conversations, you really do like putting your feet in the earth. Is that right? I think you did tell me that. Yeah.
In a major way.
Yeah. And that's Virgo. And Pluto loves that you do that. And so the sun, your sun, which is your essence, it's our ego, it's our vitality, it's our soul essence and purpose. Loves that you do that because you pull from the sun, you pull from the earth, and you create in this fourth house a lot of transformation within your own identity and self. So that Virgo is earth and it's mutable, so it's flexible. So Virgo is about our connection with the mind body. It's about our health, our wellness, whether it's through nutrition, whether it's through what kind of movement do we do? How do we keep our body connected? It's also about productivity, very disciplined, a different discipline than some of the like Capricorn, different. The discipline here with the sun in Virgo in the fourth house is that you got your discipline possibly either from your lineage or from your family and how to work. Like work is really hard. Hard work is that, and that's what pays off. And you have that in your Pluto, and Pluto is a hard worker, wants everybody to work hard in order to create and stimulate that alchemizing transformation of energy. Now, here sometimes there's also the light and the dark, if you will. Sometimes Virgo can get a little too, I want everything to be perfect. I want to analyze everything, and I want everything to just be micromanaged. Whereas Pluto rather not do that because it's hard to get into the messiness of things in order to get into the transformation, into the growth.
So I wonder, I am a Virgo. You make
Yes.
references to Virgo, but that's irrespective of my sign. You're talking about Virgo in that house.
Yes.
Okay.
So your sign, you were born, your sun sign is Virgo, and it's placed in the fourth house when you were born. And so was Pluto. And then I'll get to the other two signs. So that's going to give the flavor, Steve, because it's in the fourth house and it is in a very nurturing sign. You're very nurturing. So that discipline that you like, your sun in Virgo likes to be put together, likes to be disciplined, likes hard work, is in that house of Cancer, which is very emotional, right? And it's in the house of family and lineage. So you're going to draw on those themes of life, which is what the houses are, to stimulate and find growth within that conjunction of the sun in Virgo and Pluto in Virgo. So it's your foundation, Steve. To make it really simple, the fourth house is the foundation. So whatever you do, and we'll get into the axis of experience, but whatever you do in life, you're going to have a pretty good foundation because Pluto and your sun is going to require that. Now, it's choice always, right? Then did you have was that clear?
The foundation is the foundation always there? It's always been
Always.
there.
The
Yeah.
fourth house is always the foundation.
Interesting. Okay. Learning a lot.
Yeah. And
Wow.
for you, it means a lot because you have, four planets in that house. Now, somebody might not have anything in that house, but it's still going to work for them. They still have something on the cusp. When it's that pie shape, there's a cusp here, a line, and here.
Yep.
You have an archetype that influences, right? But you are very influenced by the fourth house. Your soul essence, your identity is about transformation. You like hard work, you're nurturing because it's in the fourth house of Cancer, and you really like routines. You do like routines, although Pluto there is going to kind of mess things up. If something gets too old and needs to be repurposed, it's going to start to ask you to do that, especially if you have a transit, the outside planets talking.
It's almost and yes, the routine thing. Yeah, I'm there. Um, I've let a lot of that go as a Virgo, just will say, you
Yeah,
know.
and that's
Um,
okay.
but it's almost when you talk about the Virgo and Pluto, it reminds me of the old cartoon with the devil on one side, the angel on the other side.
But do you think that Pluto is the devil?
I don't, but it's
But it's just what you see, the light and dark, right?
the influencer.
The
Like, the
influencer. I like it.
Virgo may be, all right, we got to do it this way, we got to do it this way. And then Pluto's like, hey, whoa, 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 ease up
Exactly.
over there. Have a little bit of fun, loosen up a little bit. Don't worry about it so much. We don't have to do it that way this time, okay? That's what I'm getting from that.
I like that. And because it's in the fourth house, Steve, it makes the signature a little bit more emotional.
Hmm. I could see
No,
that.
can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
And that's so beautiful. I mean, it's wonderful. It's
Well, yes, but can that blessing and a curse?
well, always. Yes,
Okay.
I get you.
Hmm.
So a blessing and a curse, meaning that because it's in the fourth house, I think that your family, I think I'm wondering if your family might depend on you.
Um, I would say so.
In a way, because you're always there, you have a an understanding of, that Virgo. What do you need? How can I help you?
I was
And
driving home last night, pulling my driveway. I think that's like, I don't know, 8:30 at night, and I'm on the phone with somebody and just walking them through some changes and challenges. And then I look and I was on the phone for an hour and 38 minutes, and I'm like,
see
happy
with
to
that.
help, but yeah. Yeah.
Happy to help, but okay, that's a great segue into you have Mercury also. You have Mercury in Libra in the fourth house, and then we have your moon in Libra in the fourth house.
What does that mean?
So so Mercury is how we learn. You learn a lot from your home life, a lot from your roots, and you also like information, ideas, and it's an air sign, Libra. So you love all that. You love helping to the point that it can be a little draining because of
Yes.
boundaries, like you said. Oh, I thought maybe I was going to talk to my friend or whoever you were talking to, and it ended up to be an hour. That's really very generous and very compassionate that we'll get to after. But sometimes it can also be draining if you don't take your energy back. Moon in Libra, which your mom, I bet your mom is I think you had said that, was a charming person.
Yeah. Very strong-willed, um, opinionated, but she was toughy, which in a good way.
In a good way. And that's great. And she sits right in your fourth house in Libra, helping you to balance, right? And you yourself, your emotional landscape helps you, how do I balance? I also have a moon in Libra. It's funny. You have your moon in Libra in the fourth. I have mine in the 10th. So, a moon in Libra can be challenging because your emotions are right there. You want to help, you know, at the expense of maybe you're putting yourself in the back seat. I've done that a lot.
100%. And
I've
I'm
done that.
intentionally this year working on being careful about where I put my energy, who could take my energy.
Yes.
And I never thought I would say this, but a lot of times I don't want to talk on the phone anymore. And
Yeah.
this is a reverse because we're going so, texting, digital, blah, blah, blah. It's like nobody talks anymore. But I started realizing that, and not counting last night's conversation of an hour and 38 minutes, but just in general, I'm feeling that, people make the conversations longer when I'm on the phone with them, where it's like, we get this done in a minute. I don't know. And I
Yeah.
find like it takes away. Are you Aries? I'm trying to remember.
Now I'm Aquarius.
Aquarius. Okay, I was thinking the A's. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was Aries, so that, that's strong will.
And Aries, so interesting that you have a moon in Libra because Aries and Libra are polarity points. They try to balance each other. They adjust each other. There's an adjusting that goes on, not just with your mother, but but with life itself, right? And that Libra is also about collaboration. Like the collaboration within your family, within your foundation is something that really does nourish you. It's also ruled by Venus, these two signatures of Mercury in Virgo, excuse me, Mercury in Libra, Moon in Libra, ruled by Venus, who values things very deeply
Hmm.
and in very artistic and is opinionated because it's about justice, justice for the other.
Would that be, I've adopted more of a mantra in that I pilot on facts. I try to take emotion out of it. And what are the facts? The facts, when they're true, it, you can't dispute them. When you say justice, would you say that that's in alignment with that
Yeah,
philosophy?
I think it's in alignment with the philosophy and with the Virgo, with the philosophy of Libra of wanting justice for the other, and Virgo meaning I got to know the facts. That's earthy, it's practical. I got to know step by step. So I know what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and how I'm giving information or taking information in. And how does that sit with me with my moon in Libra? It all has to make sense in a way that makes me feel good from the inside out.
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of it. Just I had this epiphany one day where it's just, you know what? The facts are the facts, but um, the 12th house is impactful from memory. I remember hearing that. Is it, what do you see in mine and what does the 12th house represent for all of us?
So interesting that you say the 12th house. You do not have any planets in the 12th house. You have Gemini on the cusp of your 12th house, and your rising sign is Gemini. So that's on the cusp of the first house. And, that's your media, your broadcasting, your radio, your voice, which is really beautiful. So that 12th house that is has Gemini there is ruled by Pisces and Neptune. Now, I don't know, this is just intuitive, this is not astrological fact, maybe it is, but you bring up the 12th house and you have Pisces in the 10th house. You have Jupiter and Pisces right on your midhaven. So the MC and the IC are the axis of experience. This is how you experience life. Okay. So what nobody can see, but you can, the MC sits right at the top of your chart. That's how you're going to be presented to the public, your career. How do you define yourself in your community? And where does your status originate? And that's in Pisces. And it's conjunct, Steve, Jupiter in Pisces, which expands that. So Pisces is inspirational, it's spiritual, it's artistic, it wants oneness, it wants that feeling that people can heal from anything.
Which was my realization in the past few years. It really was. We can. We can heal our bodies if we're in balance and we have the right mindset, even emotionally, all of that. Um,
So I feel like the connection, just let me look at your chart for just a moment. Um, okay. Yeah, so that connection to, I feel the 12th house is with Gemini on the cusp of the 12th house. You bring this MC, this midhaven Pisces conjunct Jupiter to a place that you broadcast that out into the public. So you're using that Gemini, which is social media, which is, radio, which is, neighborhoods, community, and you're doing it. Now,
it's in the
sometimes,
chart.
Now, sometimes Pisces, and you might have experienced this in your earlier days when younger, Pisces can be a little bit illusionary sometimes, can be a little dreamy, can, miss the mark because they're thinking one thing, but something else is really happening. And those are learning curves, right? Those are learning curves. So how can we bring this more up to a conscious level? And just from working with you for the last few months and talking with you, you do so much work, I feel, not only on yourself, but for the outer communities that you work with.
I try. I'm on the board of a number
Yeah,
of charities. Um,
charities are definitely ruled by Pisces.
wow. Yeah. And even recently, full disclosure, a nonprofit wanted to make me the honoree. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want the responsibility of donations and all of that. And they said, well, you know what? We'll just downplay, but just please do it. And I said, yes. I'm glad I did. It turned out to be a wonderful event, and they raised a lot of money.
That's
Like
so
the most they ever
great.
did. So I was like, all right, that felt good. But I don't need to be out there and anything. I want to ask you
Yes.
when you tell somebody what sign they are, there's stuff attached around it. So yes, you are a Virgo, you're an Aquarius, and your blank is in the blank, blank, blank. What's mine, and what does that mean for all of us?
So your sun, like I said, is in Virgo in the fourth house. So we've talked about that. Your rising sign is in Gemini. Now, the rising sign, Steve, is really important. It's where the sun was rising when you were born. When they cut the umbilical cord, that's where they get the time from. That's why it's so important.
Mm.
Yours is in Gemini. So each archetype or sign has a planet that rules them. So your Gemini, your whole chart is ruled by Mercury. And look what you do. You're a communicator. I can tell that you love to learn, you love ideas, you love to communicate with people through every sense, through your voice, maybe, when you're in groups, um, the way you learn, the way you process information, that rules your whole chart. And, and you bring that to your midhaven, what we just talked about, the top of your chart, and you're communicating through your spiritual faith, your artistic. I don't. Do you play music?
On the radio.
Well, there you go.
Well, music is my life. I
Oh,
weird
okay.
to even admit it, but I know every song, especially every top 20 song from, the 60s on up. And I
Yeah.
just
How cool is
I,
that?
I find messages in music. I get
Yeah.
personal, like there's a lot going on there. So I don't play an instrument or anything like that,
Yeah.
but it's very impactful.
Well, you're connected to that. And, music is like, it's like, I'm going to be out there for a second. It's like if you've ever went to a YouTube and wanted to know what the universe sounded like, oh, wow. For instance, what does Jupiter sound like? It's this crazy vibration of sounds, right? So in a sense, we take those sounds maybe and bring them and we create music. So those are vibrations
Hmm.
that do stimulate us. They they ignite our emotions, whether it's sad, whether it's happy, whether it's angry. It's a whole, plate, like a canvas. So music it's very beautiful, very
Yeah.
beautiful
There's some, and you know what? My
expression.
hobby now is, if you will, I don't watch TV anymore. I lay in bed with headphones on and I listen to songs that I've heard a bazillion times and
Yeah.
played them a bazillion times on the radio. And now I look at the lyrics and I find nuggets of info. I find insight, things that I didn't realize that song was about that. I had those
Yeah.
words wrong, and I'm actually enjoying it. It's like,
That's really cool. That's very Piscean. That's really cool because it's your inspiration and your spirituality connecting to words. Pisces connects very well to poetry as well. Music is poetry. Lyrics are
100%.
poetry. Yeah,
Like I'm almost addicted to doing it. Like it's,
that's cool.
I'm going to watch TV tonight. And then I'm like, all right, I'll just leave it on in the background and put on headphones. We're just
Great.
about out of time.
Ah,
Didn't want to make it about me, but this is
okay, no, it's okay.
using me as an example of what is revealed within the chart. And it's not like we're reading into it. This is already there and it's mirroring real life. It's not like you're
Right.
reading into it, oh, yeah, well, Mercury's communication and that, predominant in your chart and that's what you do. Well, yeah, you can't dispute that. That's what I do. Um, if I was an
Yeah.
auto mechanic, maybe there would be a different sign there. But
Right.
it's fascinating how, final
Eh,
question. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, no. Well, also was going to say again, and then you make it, I'm going to say this because of the music, you make your chart sing, right? You find your soul song by using this birth chart as a tool. And that's how I use it with coaching. We find these little
Yes.
nuggets. Make your song. What's the vibration of that? How can I either heal or embrace body, all of it?
Is it true that if, let's say I was an auto mechanic, you're looking at that chart as it is now, I feel misaligned. Like I'm doing this, but I don't know if I should be. And you would look at the chart and potentially would say, well, have you ever thought about music? Have you ever thought about this? Have
Sure.
you ever thought about maybe expressing in social media, whatever? I'm using my chart right there
Absolutely. Yeah.
as an example of how the coaching can work.
Yeah, because maybe you were a mechanic, which is a beautiful thing.
Sure.
The time ran out, right? Okay, well, I'm not growing from that anymore. So what else does the chart have to reveal?
Ooh. So back to GPS. I've been driving
Yeah.
half my life in this one direction, but now there's construction and there's delays and it doesn't feel like I'm getting
Saturn.
in that direction. So I'm going to turn the GPS, I'm going to turn the
Yeah,
car of life using that chart as GPS to maybe go in a different direction.
exactly.
Wow.
And find the support where
Yes.
you can be supported.
Based on the stars, it's there. You will
Yeah,
be supported making that change if that change aligns with what's on the chart.
exactly. And
Super cool.
there's a lot to it, but we take it little bites at a time, and that's what makes it empowering in my perspective.
The whisperingsoul.net is your website. And
Yes.
I find that our souls sometimes whisper, but sometimes they're screaming. But to
Yeah.
to really see and understand it,
Yeah.
astrology,
Yeah.
it's all there. You didn't
Yeah.
make this up. You just took my information, date of birth, time, location. That's it, and generated that.
Yeah. And just to add into that, and sometimes, when, I'm talking to a client or something, they'll say, "Well, I don't really resonate with that." Well, let's take another avenue.
Mm,
Let's take another avenue and see. Because we're working in collaboration, right? So it's got to be Libra, it's got to be that collaboration of communication.
beautiful. Thank you for the insight today.
It was
I
fun.
have a better understanding of how this all works, and I appreciate it, Nancy. Thank you again.
Oh, I appreciate you, Steve. A lot of fun.
Likewise. We'll talk soon. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.